Everyone, and welcome to Marketing and Your Strengths, part 10 or 9. 9? I think it's 9. Um, I am coming to you redoing or actually doing the one that I missed because I didn't have internet, and then I will hop over to the other one. So if you are tuning in, hopefully we found the correct link and we're able to watch. I am in Enumclaw. I just arrived last night. And we've already had a super busy trip checking out conference venues. And we have a new gal who is going to work at the bookstore and so many things. So busy trip. It's only a couple days, but excited to be here. Good to see you, Anne. And if you are watching, go ahead and comment because today we're going to do 2 lives. This one, I'm going to hop off and then hop back on and do the very final one for this series, Marketing in Your Strengths. So today is step 9 or part 9, and it is your book a hobby or a business? So authors, that is all of you watching, one of the most important steps in your marketing plan is to really determine that very thing. Is your book a hobby or a business? Now, why is it so important that you make this decision and understand the difference? Because this direction is going to shape your expectations and it's going to guide how you approach building your platform, your marketing strategies, and how you sell your books. So we're going to start by answering a few questions before we talk about the difference. So here are some questions that you need to answer. And let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for y'all. There we go. So you can maybe see them. There's quite a few on one page. But the first thing we want to ask is, what is the purpose of my book? Are you writing your book more for personal fulfillment, maybe just for your family, something that you want to use in a small group setting? Or is it really for the idea of your ministry, financial stability, even the ability to really use your book as leverage to continue growing a platform that you feel God has given you? Number 2, who is your target audience? Do you want to reach a really small group? Is that kind of where you want to sit for today? Or are you wanting to broaden your audience and have a scalable market? Number 3, are you willing to invest significant time, money, and resources into marketing your book? So that means that you are going to actually think about it more than just when the thought comes to mind. It's going to be something that is definitely in front of you almost every day. Number 4, how do you define success for your book? Is it heartfelt feedback from readers, or is it really measurable financial results and growth? And I would add to that kingdom results. And then number 5, are you open to learning business concepts like branding, advertising, and audience engagement to promote your book? And if you are here in Book Marketing Academy, you probably can answer yes to that question. You feel like God has called you to do something more than to just have a book written and sitting on your shelf. So when you answer these questions and how you answer them will really provide powerful insight to the goals and priorities that you are going to set. So let's take a look at someone who views, let's go back to the screen. Let's take a look at someone who views their book as their hobby. So let's call her Lisa. I don't think we have a Lisa in our group. Lisa writes her book because she loves the process of creating. She loves sharing her stories. And for her, success is simply just receiving warm feedback from a few dedicated readers and enjoying the creative outlet that her book actually gives her. So Lisa isn't really looking for a platform. She isn't looking for a ministry to grow. She isn't looking for financial gain or a massive reach. Her marketing strategy is very personable and minimal. She might remember to share on social media once in a while, or maybe do a small group or a book club with her book. Writing for Lisa is more of a passion project, and she's happy keeping it that way. Then you have the business-oriented author. So let's call him David. David sees his book as part of his mission, part of his career, part of his ministry. So what he does, whether he is going to get a financial profit from it, whether he's going to build credibility and authority in the area where he's teaching in his field, maybe he is working to expand his reach long term, David is focused on growing a platform for sure. So he invests in tools like doing ad campaigns, maybe some professional branding. He invests in email marketing. Email marketing is number one. Shelley Brown is watching, and she would tell you email marketing is the way to go. While he loves his craft, he also treats it as a business, keeping track of sales, metrics, engagement, and return on an investment. Success for David isn't just about passion. It's about making an impact and ensuring his efforts yield financial returns, both in his pocket, but also returns for the kingdom. He really is focused on how his book can impact lives. All right, so let me describe to you what a day looks like for Lisa. So Lisa would wake up and she goes to a church that has a Bible study on Wednesday morning. And so she trots off to her Bible study. And after Bible study, her friends say, hey, let's all go for lunch. And so she goes for lunch, and she was going to go home and do some writing, but she remembered that she had to run an errand and she had a birthday party on Saturday. So she stops at the store to buy the birthday gift. And then it's time to pick up the kids from school. So she does that. The kids come home. She does homework and does some things with them, takes them to dance class, comes back, fixes dinner, puts the kids to bed, sitting on the couch, exhausted from her day, like many of us are. And as she's watching TV, she's like, oh, you know what? I really should do a little post on my social media. So she, while watching TV, hops on Canva, makes a cute little meme about the busyness and the overwhelm of her day, and puts a scripture verse with it and calls that nurturing her audience. For Lisa, that means her book is really her hobby. Now, David, he has another initiative in front of him. So when David wakes up, his church also has a Bible study on Wednesday morning, but it's a 6 a.m. coffee men's Bible study group. So he gets up very early and he goes to his Bible study group and he gets the encouragement he needs. And when he leaves there, his friends are like, hey, we're all going to go to the new, hunting store. What's it called? I can't remember. Scheels, I think, is what the new one by us. And so they all go off to Scheels, but David says, you know what? I have some work to do today. I've got to create my email newsletter that needs to go out at the end of the week. So I'm going to go and work on that. So he goes to the local coffee shop. He sits there for a few hours, creates content for his email newsletter. In fact, he doesn't just create content for one of them. He does a whole month's worth of content during that time period. Then he goes off back home. He does a few things around the house that he's already scheduled. And then he has on his schedule that he's going to make sure his one sheets get sent out to some new churches in the area. And so he creates those, puts his packets together, gets those sent out, and he looks at his to-do list and he recognizes, okay, today I'm writing chapter 4 of my book. And he sits down the rest of the evening and he writes his chapter. The kids come home from school and his wife takes care of them for a few minutes. And then he spends the evening helping them with his homework. And before he goes to bed, he looks over his to-do list, sees what he got done that day, and he continues to process tomorrow. These are the 3 things I need to get done in order for me to stay on track. And he has that ready to go before he goes to bed that night. David treats his book like a business. It's not an afterthought. Now, you don't have to be so structured that every second of your day is spent on doing marketing for your book and writing. But if you want it to be your business, you will spend a significant amount of time and you won't allow distractions or other things that come up, like going to lunch with your girlfriends or saying yes to something when you know you really should be doing something else, get in the way. You treat it like a business. You treat it like what you have is very important. The reason you want to make sure you recognize your book, is it a hobby or is it a business, is your expectations will be properly set. So those of us who have our book as our hobby, we're okay if we get a royalty check at the end of the month and it only has 3 or 4 book sales, because we really haven't done very much with our book. If our book is our business and we get a royalty check with only 3 books on it, we recognize that perhaps we are putting our marketing efforts in the wrong place and we need to really reevaluate and audit what we're doing so that we can make better decisions. So take some time to reflect and determine, is your book a hobby or a business? Neither answer is wrong. I look at my life personally. So here's an example. My business is Redemption Press. I spend the majority of my life working towards Redemption Press, marketing Redemption Press, working with authors at Redemption Press, helping authors market at Redemption Press. I spend some time writing my own book, and I have to very strategically place it in my schedule still because my business is different than my hobby. So my book does get written, but instead of taking 2 months to write it, because I'm focusing on it every single day, it might take 2 years to write. And I have to be okay with that because my book is my hobby and my business is Redemption Press. So answer those questions for you. And if you are still here watching, go ahead and answer it in the chat. Do you consider your book your hobby or your business? Whatever it is, whatever your choice is, remember that your message still matters, and so does the way you share it. So we will step into that in this next season as we continue our training on in Author Book Marketing Pro Academy. So thank you for joining me for session 9. And if you're watching in just about 2 minutes, I'm going to hop into session 10. The link is in our Facebook group if you need to find it, and I'll see you there. And we're just going to do a closeout of this training on marketing in your strengths. Thanks for joining me.